You know, in my first video on rogue elements, I presented the criticism of the film on a level that only hints at things, but is clearly obvious to anyone who has a background in the film industry. Oh. Right. How could this not be included in the film? How can I, as a director, know Critical Drinker's work, both on YouTube and as an author, but not take into account essential elements that are addressed in almost every video? Men can be portrayed in a smart and multidimensional way. Women, female less girl bossy, fight, but in an intelligent way and if necessary with the weapons of a woman, but without staging them offensively. How can this be done? Creativity saves you money. You can only hint at things and still show them, as I tried to do in the last video, only hint at criticism and still highlight the film as worth seeing. And you could also have deluded yourself, that the person or persons responsible understand these subtle and deliberately only implied hints. Either do not comment on them at all, or leave a comment on the video, that indicates that you have at least understood what you have just seen, that it will be supplemented in the TV series. Oh boy, was I wrong. Instead, the director of Rogue Elements appears in my community section, where a poll is running to find out who should be the director of Rogue Elements, the TV series. This, too, could be understood as a subtle hint that an alternative might be conceivable here, or something should be changed. So the director's reaction to my video was not a comment on my video, in which he would have given any indication that he at least understood what he had so grossly neglected to show in the film and what most of the Critical Drinker fans would have wished for. His reaction was to vote for himself in the poll and leave the following comment. I vote for myself. You do you, bro, but if that's the range with which the director processes criticism after watching the video and the survey. Film status, nah. It will be fine. With a comment section that looks like this, in parts, these are not just haters. Very well composed, competent criticism and with the placement of the film on Critical Drinker's main channel, between two videos that have achieved over 1 million views within 2 days. Rogue Elements Proof of Concept gets 190,000 views.
So, welcome to the bar. Tyrone Magnus, Disparu, and box office brawler making his debut on the open bar. Welcome, gentlemen.
Well, Iceland, kind of like what they did apparently with Walt Disney. We'll just keep him under ice. Oh my God. Poor Mally. She's like, oh my God.
Yeah. Did not expect that to go there. Hi.
Bruh. Hello. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good. I'm good. We were just discussing Craig's demise, food poisoning and all that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You had a hand in that too, though, didn't you?
Yeah, very successful. You know, I got a lot in my garden.
Whoa. I don't know how to respond to that. Wow. Okay. So anyway, hello. Welcome to Side Scrollers.
I really appreciate that Travis Grant, as the director, got the project off the ground in the first place, the ambitious crew and the great cast, who made the most of what was available and did a lot of things right. As Rogue Elements Proof of Concept may be approved by the Critical Drinker, but anyone who can read between the lines will have asked himself two things after watching the following clip with the Critical Drinker on Side Scrollers. This was 8 months ago, the movie was finished and was supposed to come out in the same month, but Critical Drinker was probably so happy with the first cut that not only was the whole project postponed by 8 months, but also John Kasser from 24 was brought on board to support the project.
For people who don't know, I'm also an author when I'm not pretending to talk about movies on YouTube. And so I'd written like this whole series of 9 books plus a couple of novellas called the Ryan Drake series, like named after the main character. And once, I made it on YouTube a little bit, I got contacted by an independent film director who said, look, I'm a big fan of your channel and I've also read your books and I really like them. I think we could do something with this. Maybe start off by making a short film and then see what we do from there. So we tossed around some ideas. I looked at the work that he'd already made and I said, yeah, let's see if we can create something here. So we did a Kickstarter. Our goal was to reach $20,000. We ended up getting like $400,000, I think, which was nice. And so it's evolved from just like a really small, short film into something a little bit bigger, where we could actually get a proper film crew in, and we could get proper actors, and we could get good equipment and everything. And that's what we filmed last summer over in Canada, and it's been great fun. So it's almost ready to go now. I'm actually going to review the first rough cut of the film later on today. So looking forward to that. Yeah, and it should be ready to release onto my YouTube channel in the next month or so.
Oh, so you're just going to release it for free?
Yeah, I just want people to have a chance to watch it. I'm not going to put it behind paywalls or anything like that. Like this was funded by just people, fans who wanted to pitch in and help out. And so, as far as I'm concerned, they're the ones who deserve it, and they can watch it.
That's fucking great, man. I love it. I love everything about that. That's awesome.
Thank you.
The question is, why is a mission planned in such a way in which a woman alone is supposed to secure such a large area, while Dietrich's role, let's say, is interpreted quite strangely in terms of accent, attitude, or anything else? So let's follow Critical Drinker's rules for mistrbeat fixes. It has to stay the same movie, and you can only make actionable suggestions that don't change the plot too much. Let's add here and stay within budget. If you have collected $400,000, you could have pulled off a Mr. Beast, namely during the film production you could have given someone a new car in exchange for his old car. Why? It will be useful later in the fixing segment. This could have been deducted for the film as advertising costs, at the same time made someone happy and had a reasonable promotional video to hype the film a bit in advance. The trailer has received relatively little attention in the whole months, and some attention in the 8 months would certainly have benefited the project.
A lot of the stuff that we see indie-wise,
here is the reaction of Chris Gore to the Rogue Elements trailer in advance, whose opinion Critical Drinker respects, as was recently seen at Open Bar.
It looks action-wise, it looks ambitious for an indie film, which is great. Everyone has those damn accents, though. But other than that, I'm excited to see it. I kind of am disappointed that it's not a feature.
Yeah, well, but the thing is this, a lot of short films get expanded into features, so it could become that. They could certainly use it concept for fundraising. So congratulations to the drinker. I have only one complaint. There's not enough drinking. I saw a lot of guns, a lot of tough guy. There's a very attractive lady.
Yeah, I expect nudity. I want nudity in this as well. There has to be a hot, and sweaty sex scene in it. Yeah.
Where is the alcohol, drinker? You're not living up to your reputation. But hopefully in the feature-length version, they'll actually.
Well, so much emphasis is placed on the dialogues being like in real life, but everyone twitched at some points. How can it be that there is no problem to let the actors have such a conversation, while Frost even in civilian clothes would not or may not even be perceived as a woman? Even with such a budget, there can be individual scenes in which the main actors can walk around with a bit more exclusive clothing without it getting dirty or destroyed. Clothes can even be borrowed for the day of shooting, or let the actors bring some decent pieces from their private wardrobe.
You know how much I love getting phone calls from you at 6 a.m.?
You know how much I love making.
I was in the middle of something.
Don't worry. Whoever your latest victim is, I'm sure will be tied up in your dungeon.
Why'd you bring this fucking asshole in?
Didn't. It was Dan's call. But he speaks Russian like a native.
So, instead of Dietrich, Frost, in an attractive outfit, drives the car to the gate to talk to the security guard. She says that she is here at the request of her boss. The security guard does not believe her, but she asserts herself against him, which causes the security guard to ask Volkov on his radio something along the lines, "Hey boss, an attractive brunette is at the gate and says she is here at your request." Volkov reacts, "Search the car, leave her alone, just make sure she doesn't have a gun and let her through, I'll talk to her in the main building." Frost drives the car to the main entrance after a quick search. She parks a few meters in front of the building, where Ryan is using the distraction and frees the hostage. Frost gets out of the car, while Dietrich keeps an eye on her with the detonator for the explosive device in the tank of the car and the sniper rifle at the ready. The car flies into the air in the background while Dietrich takes out two of the men around Volkov. Volkov storms back into the building with his third man, while Frost grabs the weapons from one of the victims and advances into the building with Dietrich as a backline. So if you dismiss this solution as plot convenience, you can watch the movie again and see other plot conveniences. But here is the advantage, to stylishly use the weapons of a woman and show that Frost also can stand her ground, as well as a nice transition from being an attractive woman to an operative who can engage with proper backup from Dietrich. A classic vehicle explosion at night would have at least convinced the enemy that there are more people on duty here, that immediate action is required and much more confusion is caused, without burning the budget. Closing thought, if you want to keep the director, he needs a consultant for the sunglass parts or critical drinker has to get involved more.